Stop 2. The early church in colonial times. You're now standing in the vestibule, the church's main lobby. Here we'll take a moment to explore how this remarkable church came to be. German immigrants began to arrive in Baltimore during colonial times. At the time, Maryland was an English colony owned by Cecil Calvert, also known as Lord Baltimore. Baltimore, unlike much of Maryland, was swampy, cut through by 3 rivers, the Gwynn Falls, Jones Falls, and the Patapsco. Still, Lord Baltimore saw potential. He believed skilled German craftsmen could transform the land. In Germany, the law of primogeniture meant only the eldest sons inherited property. That left second and third sons seeking opportunity, and Baltimore offered just that. Many came here to start businesses, laying the foundation for a thriving German-American presence in the city. The German community in colonial Baltimore was deeply religious. At first, they were allowed to worship with local Anglicans, but tensions soon arose. The Anglicans found German services too rowdy and disapproved of the German tendency to drink beer on Sunday. They also complained that German pastors were disorderly and drank too often. By 1755, the Anglicans had had enough and kicked the Germans out. Around this time, an important man arrived in Baltimore. Looking to the left from the main entrance, you can spot him at the bottom of the stained glass window wearing a blue coat. This man is Charles Wiesenthal. The man above him is Pastor Scheip, an important figure in the church's history. We'll hear more about him in a later stop. Wiesenthal was a respected physician and veteran of Frederick the Great's army. Wiesenthal believed in good medicine and good religion. He saw the need for spiritual leadership and organized the scattered German community. Wiesenthal wrote to Henry Muhlenberg, the father of American Lutheranism, requesting a clergyman. Muhlenberg, eager to move pastors eastward due to unrest from the French and Indian War, sent Johann Bager to Baltimore. Bager served communion to the German congregation 6 times a year. The letter Wiesenthal wrote to Muhlenberg would later serve as the official record marking the founding of the Evangelical Lutheran congregation at Baltimore town. The congregation did not buy the land for the church until 1763. Due to colonial church taxes imposed by the English colonies, they wouldn't build a church right away. Instead, they would build a German language school. Only after the American Revolution would they finally build a modest church building. Despite these early challenges, the congregation flourished during this colonial period. German immigrants from Pennsylvania were streaming into Maryland, eager to own land that they could cultivate. These Germans were skilled grain farmers, and as the surrounding German community grew and prospered, so did the church. As the congregation grew, they built an even bigger church. Look to the painting by the sculpture. That man is Pastor Kurtz, one of the church's most influential pastors. Under his leadership, funds were raised, and in 1807, the building we stand in today was completed. Its location was key. Baltimore sat between major German Lutheran hubs, like New York and the Carolinas, and Zion soon became a gathering place for Lutheran pastors along the East Coast. In fact, during the early 1800s, Zion hosted theological discussions that helped shape the American Lutheran Church. Pastor Kurtz himself became one of its founding leaders. Why is the church called Zion? The name Zion comes from Psalm 48 in the Old Testament of the Bible. As mentioned in verses 1 and 2, Mount Zion is a sacred hill upon which the city of God sits. For immigrants arriving by ship, the church's brick steeple was one of the first sights welcoming them to their new home. By the end of Pastor Kurtz's tenure, the church and its community were thriving and German Baltimore was firmly established.